Hi, we're at the Food Bank of South Jersey today, and here's what's cooking in our kitchen. I'm Raquel Moreno with the Healthy Living Initiative at the Food Bank, and I'm here with our Director of Programs and Services. This is Salmon.
Hello.
So today we're going to make a very, very simple dish that came from the Healthy Food Bank Hub. It's called Dirty Rice with Salmon. Really simple dish. It features salmon, kidney beans, and bell peppers, red onions, and brown rice. Very, very simple. So what we're going to do first, Ujwala is going to start us off cooking the peppers and the onions. We dice these up, not too small, nice size, to get them started.
So you want them around the same size as the beans so that they don't...
Exactly. So we can see the beans and the peppers and the onions are all pretty much the same size.
And you rinse the beans.
We did, absolutely. That's why we have them in this colander here. With canned beans, you always want to make sure that you rinse them off. A lot of times beans are canned with a lot of salt. By rinsing them, you can get rid of a little bit of that extra salt that's left in the liquid. And beans are really, really high in fiber, so this dish, with making it with the... Absolutely. Combining it with the brown rice, we get a really nice load of fiber. And the onions and the green peppers, they give us a lot of vitamins and minerals. I'll leave that to you to search on the internet for which ones, but just trust that you're getting a lot of good vitamins and minerals.
And they taste really good
And
too.
they
taste really good.
Exactly. So our other superfood ingredient here, I think everybody's talking about superfoods these days.
Right.
Yeah, salmon. Salmon is really high in omega-3 fatty acid, really, really good source of protein. And oftentimes it's on our food distribution list, so you can easily find it at a food pantry.
Could you do this with tuna or with, you know, when you give out chunk chicken and tuna and stuff like that?
Absolutely. So if salmon is not available, you could totally do the, like you said, tuna, canned chicken, and really, if you want to leave it completely vegetarian, that's fine too, because the beans are a really good source of protein as well. And when you combine beans with rice, you actually get a complete protein.
Right.
So, you know, no real concerns for lacking in the protein there.
Right. And if you want to pick it up a notch, you can add sofrito to it, and you can add lots of other Indian spices, as I tend to do when I make it at home.
Exactly.
Garlic, that's another thing we end up adding as well.
So we're going to let those keep cooking, but we've already pre-cooked some of the peppers and the onions here. So now that those are soft in here, we can actually just go ahead and finish off the dish. So what we're going to need to do is just fold in. We just use a whole can of beans, that way you don't have to measure too many different things. Whole can of beans. We use the small can of salmon. This is about 5 ounces. And we just want to season it with some salt and pepper. You might be saying, why are we adding salt after we rinse the salt off the beans? The amount of salt and pepper that we're adding here is really minimal, and it's just for giving the food a little bit, bringing out the flavors of the peppers and the onions. Really, this is a very quick and easy dish. This can come together in 15 minutes at your house. You can have somebody cut up the onions and the peppers, and then you cook them down, and then it's just a matter of folding in the other ingredients.
That's what kids and husbands are for. Chop up the onions, chop up the peppers.
Exactly.
Keep them all busy.
Keep it all busy. You can also, as Ujwala said, you could put in the sofrito. This would be a good stage to put in that sofrito if you have that at your house, or if you have any other spices that you'd like to season this up with. This would be a good stage, and then we're ready for rice. Right. We pre-cooked the brown rice just to speed it up a little bit. If you are making this at home, brown rice does take about 35 minutes to cook. So you might want to make this the night before, and then that way the rice is done. And when you come home, if you need to make this very quickly, you just grab it out of the refrigerator and fold it in, almost like a fried rice type of dish.
Yeah, and what I tend to do is I always cook extra rice, so then I have it left over for the next day to cook, to turn into some form of fried rice.
Exactly. Make a little extra, and you save yourself some time for the next day when it's time for dinner. So this meal serves 6 people. If you go on to myplate.gov, that's the USDA's new website for nutrition information, you'll find a lot of cool tips about adding vegetables and fruits to your meal. So we're covered on vegetables here. We've got some peppers, we've got some onions. If you really wanted to bulk it up, you could definitely add maybe some spinach, any other vegetables that you may have on hand. Mushrooms. And then if you want to serve this with some fruit on the side, if you have a banana at home, if you have an orange, that way you have your fruit in there. But otherwise, you're covered. You've got your proteins in this meal. You've got a whole grain. We've got vegetables. And we could have some fruit with this. Like I said, banana, orange, apple, maybe some blueberries, anything that you've got on hand. And then for the dairy part, you could really get kind of creative with this. I actually would love to put a yogurt sauce with this.
That's what I was thinking was, what would I serve it with? Would be a relish. We make a simple relish with carrots and tomatoes and onions and cilantro and lemon juice on the side, because it perks it up, because brown rice can be, with beans, can be a bit heavy.
It can.
So when you have something citrusy, it sort of cuts through that. And it's also very Indian to have a relish or a yogurt-based sauce with something like this. So it's something that I would ordinarily just have on the side anyway, and that sort of makes it come alive.
Exactly. So if you have plain yogurt at home, you can mix that up with maybe some chopped cilantro, a little teeny bit of lemon juice, and maybe even some spices. If you have some cumin or some coriander, it'd be a nice little sauce for this. But also, if you just wanted to have a simple glass of milk, you've covered with your dairy there. All right, so we'll just serve this up, and I'll show you. This serves about 6, and so if you wanted to make it easy for yourself, you could kind of divvy it up and portion it out. But just, if I was going to serve myself this dish, I would put it right in the center, because this is going to be my main meal for tonight. And if I have my fruit or my vegetable or whatever, or an extra vegetable, I could add that to here too. And then I have my milk, and I'd be ready to eat.
And it also really works well as a lunch, because my son used to take something like this, a similar rice dish, and pack it and send it to him, because there's always a microwave somewhere that you can zap it in. And
exactly. So if you didn't get to finish it all for dinner, package it up, and it makes a great lunch for the next day. So thank you so much for joining us at the Food Bank of South Jersey, and this is what's cooking in our kitchen.